Hi, my name is Manav Kohli. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Gainwell, part of the larger Gainwell group and specifically part of the Gainwell Commercials Private Limited. And the discussion that we are really having is our new tie-up that we have with Atnair International from US. And as I was talking about, Atnair International is a 126-year-old organization in the US who've been a specialist in the road maintenance activity. So the range of equipment that you see outside are a bouquet of road maintenance equipment, which are very essential to maintain health of the roads over a period of time as they age, as they are subjected to the elements of nature in terms of heat and rain and water and everything else, and the wear and tear with usage and high density traffic. So the thought process that we have been looking at is that the country has been making for the past 2 decades the national highways. We've been doing in last at least 5 to 6 years or 8 years, trying to do 8 to 10,000 or even 12,000 in certain years kilometers of road or national highways in a year. And on top of that, there are the urban roads. And the next succession, obviously, point is to have the rural roads. And this program is a very large program going forward. But having done road construction, better quality road, if you look at our urban cities as well as the national highways, the next question is, what are we doing about maintenance of these roads, which is very, very important. And if you look at the recent discussions in the road circles, even at a policy level, there is a lot of emphasis to say, how can we have pothole-free roads, right? And so the thing is, there's a science behind having pothole-free roads. And the science really talks about making sure that the moment the roads start to develop any kind of defect, a certain quality of repair needs to be consistently done. And the earlier you do the repair, the lesser the chance that it will degenerate into what is called the potholes. And then there could be situation where you're having potholes. And then there is another technology which says, how do you repair a pothole so that it becomes and it actually meshes with the rest of the pavement? Because if you do anything else which doesn't bind with the rest of the pavement that you have, it is not going to last. So next season, you're again going to have those potholes back. The third thing is, as the high density traffic plies on the roads and there is wear and tear of the road, what do you do about it? How do you maintain the right quality, the surface and the tire wear aspects of the properties of the road, perfectly? And for that, there are numerous technologies. Of course, Abhijit here, my colleague, who really heads the asphalt initiative within Gainwell, he's the head of this thing. He'll introduce himself. But so there are the technologies like microsurfacing, and then you can do the sealing of the and the chip sealing, where you can do the sealing of the top layer to make sure that the surface is impervious and the water doesn't go down to the other layers where the displacement of the base starts to happen and the potholes start to create. And this technology is applicable for national highways. It is also applicable for the urban roads. So all our mega cities that we have with this amount of vehicular traffic, the roads are subject to a lot of pressure, and you need to constantly maintain it. The second thing about this concept is you can still do it, but can you do it fast enough? Because when you undertake the road maintenance activities, two things happen. One is that you are creating a bottleneck, whereby the vehicular traffic, becomes, there's a diversion and it kind of creates a jam or difficulty for people to ply. And the second is that if you stay in that state for very long, it creates a safety hazard for, the vehicular traffic as well as people working on the ground. And the expectation usually is that you carry out most of this repair in a short interval of time, very effectively, consistently, very fast in lean traffic hours. And by the time the traffic opens up, your work should be open, all clear for. So these equipment are effectively trying to give an answer to that problem that we are trying to solve, is to do road maintenance activity in a fashion which is mechanized, whereby the safety aspect is enhanced and the intervention is fast enough to ensure minimum disruption of traffic and everything gets done safely. This is where these equipment will come. And we are seeing that even at a ministry level now, there are discussions which are talking about what is the budget allocation to maintenance of roads versus creation of more roads. So that discussion and allocation, and I think that allocation is becoming several folds now in current financial year vis-a-vis the previous financial years. So looking at all this, we have tied up with Atnaya. We have worked on this project for a while, studying the requirements, talking to our customers, and we have tied up with them to not only bring these equipment and technology to India, but also to use the Make in India initiative to become a supply chain for the global requirements at various levels, at component levels and several levels of value addition, so that we create the scale in India for manufacturing these equipment, which then benefits and creates a market for these equipment in India. And our customers, we can invest on demonstrating the benefit of these equipment to the customers, and they can then make their informed choice. Even the policymakers can make an informed choice in terms of what benefit these equipment can bring and what are the practices that we can bring in bigger measure, because some of this has been happening in very small bits and pieces across the country, but they have not got scaled up because it's not being done in India so much. And for India, you often need a solution which is made in India for it to be scaled up. And so therefore, this attempt will also help us broad base these practices and make them more prevalent, and help keep the roads in better health and shape for a longer period of time. Abhijit?
No, I fully agree. And hi, I'm Abhijit. I'm heading the Linov allied business. Basically, this is to do with the asphalt, because we are also with Linov. So in Gainwell, we manufacture the Linov plants as well. And this is a natural progression for us going forward. Once we lay the roads, we do the maintenance aspects as well. So these 4 machines we are introducing today and in this show, and these are the pothole mastic kettles, the crack sealer machines which will take care of the cracks. Then we have got the road saver. This is a micro surfacing machine or a slurry machine, you can call it. It works on both the aspects. And the last is a live bottom. It's a new concept in India altogether. It is a trailer which will not be a tipping trailer. It has got a moving bottom. So it's chain and on the bottom the rubber belt is there and chains are there. The whole bottom moves, and so any material you put in it, basically asphalt or aggregate, it moves out of the trailer without the trailer tipping. So it is completely safe, hazard free, because normally you see when you have a tip trailer, either it will touch the overhead wires or it may lose its balance and fall down. So these 2 points are negated in this design. So this trailer is used extensively in the US markets. It was not used here. So we got a tremendous response for it in the first 2 days itself. Lot of guys approached us, and since we are doing the demo route, we would like to test the market first, use the machines in India. Like the crack sealer is a new concept, the mastic kettle is a new concept, and the trailer as well. So we will do the demo route, we will work with the authorities, we'll set the parameters of working with the asset owners, and then we'll go ahead. Okay. So this is for the Indian market development. And for the international markets are already there. So Atnaya is going to take it from India, what we manufacture here according to their designs, and then do the distribution worldwide. So this is our plan for the time being.
So in fact, the EXCON themes talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat and the technology aspect. If you really look at it, this kind of brings the technology on the plank of Atmanirbhar Bharat to the country.
So what's your outlook for 2024? It being an election year, and a lot of changes are expected from the current government, or if the government changes. So then there's an expected dip in the market. So how do we foresee 2024?
Overall, from a CE industry perspective, if that's your question, because this is a new product line, it will follow its own time and demand. Quite honestly, for 2024, we believe overall if we speak to our customers, their level of confidence and optimism is fairly positive. It's a matter of operational detail in terms of new projects allocation. So there is a pipeline of projects which is under execution, which is significant as the country has been progressing. So the question is the process of election. What kind of time gap can potentially get created to new project allocation? And I think that is what is going to really determine what happens in terms of the CE industry next year. But and historically, if you go back, every time we've had elections, it creates some disruption. It is a procedural gap, for a quarter or so, which really gets created. But as such, our view, and I hope many of our colleagues from the industry also subscribe, is that there's no apprehension from a long-term potential and growth perspective. It is a question of a cycle that the nation follows every 5 years. So it has to happen, but the mandate, the thought process, I think that's very clear in terms of the growth and investment in infrastructure. We're not really concerned. So from a long-term outlook and investment perspective, we're not thinking so much in terms of the risk and uncertainties.
One point I'd like to add to what Manav said is pertaining to these products which we are introducing. These products are going to be used on assets which are already created,
right,
and which are to be maintained over the life of that asset. So election coming, going, new government coming, going, it won't affect this, because this asset owners are all foreign institutions. If you see the top 15 to 20 players,
InvITs and the funds,
they are owning, and they have to maintain, otherwise their investment on the long term is at risk. So we are looking at that, and that's a very positive outlook for the whole industry, if I say on the asset route.
Yeah, there's an implicit requirement, I would say, different kind of solutions that customers are looking at, and we hope that what we are trying to bring, and we have the freedom to customize it to local requirements as well, will fit into those requirements. These might be the answers that some of our customers are really looking for.
And anything specific you are doing for after services or like post-sale services?
Absolutely. So, I mean, if I were to introduce my own organization, Gainwell Commercials Private Limited, to tell you that this organization has been for 8 decades engaged with the construction and infrastructure activities. So, we have a very wide network of after sales within our territory and as such in the country to service our construction and infrastructure segment. And what we're trying to do here is to extend solutions to our customers and the same areas where rest of the equipment that we service are going to go into. So in fact, aftermarket is a great strength, I would say. We believe that's our core competence that, as an organization. And we not only invest in physical infrastructure, which is in terms of the warehousing and parts outlets and touch points for our customers, where customers can be quickly reached because we go out and service our customers. We also investing and have invested to use the technology to do this very effectively. Our customers have access to us round the clock because for the service purposes, we have our own apps, which the customers can use to seek a requirement at any point of time. We have apps through which customers can in fact buy parts. So we are also working on the e-commerce aspect, so that a customer who's at a little distance and he wants to decide to buy a part can at least order the part without having to come to a particular place or call somebody and wait for a response or wait for a quotation and things like that. Many of our machines and most of our machines are electronically connected, the Internet of Things enabled. So we call them smart machines. Now what that does is that we are able to see the aging and working hours of the machine from a distance. Now that creates a very significant opportunity for us to be able to predict in which location what kind of parts for which machine and model might be required. So we can do a predictive forecast on what our customers might need, and what we can then reach it in advance so that they can get it very fast. So combination of age, experience, and of course in terms of the manpower, the service, and the technical capabilities on electrical, mechanical, hydraulic side. That is the age and experience that we have within the organization. Put all this together, I think this is a big assurance that we can bring to the table for anybody. And it's the most modern way of working. So every piece of technology, analysis, data analytics, all that is put together to uniquely use for our construction equipment context.
Any particular message you have to give to the industry as an industry leader for the year 2024 and ahead?
Well, I think our belief is on bringing new solutions to our customers. I think customers are to uniquely understand customers' problems, to be able to find the right solutions, and be truly the partners to our customers' success and their profitability. I think with that philosophy, we are always motivated to get the right technology. We work on several elements of new technologies. For example, in this case, something related to asphalt. We also work on elements of technology related to even machine guidance and things like that, digital construction. So, as a group, Gainwell as a group, we feel that technology, innovation, and these are the aspects which are the theme of the day. And I think this is what enables us to unlock a great amount of value for our customers. And that's the focus, which I think as an industry we should all move forward. And I entirely agree with the EXCON theme, both in terms of technology and also in terms of self-reliance of the country. I think making more capital goods in the country is definitely something which we need, not just from any other perspective, but in terms of growth of the country, the skill development within the country, the employability of people within the country, and also that I think we are becoming the third largest construction equipment industry in India. So I do believe that it's time that we started to produce for the world.
I think 2 points which we feel we bring to the table with our association, as in Gainwell with Linov and with Etnair, is we want to improve the life of our citizens with less accidents, pothole-free roads, with less time to commute, and overall improve the economy of the nation. So this is what we really want to do. So we are doing it in bits and pieces, but this is where as a group we want to go ahead.